Hi there. In this explainer video, we're going to answer the frequently asked question of how do I move money from one retirement plan into a self-directed IRA? Now, there are different types of retirement accounts, a 401k, a 403b, a 457, a thrift savings plan, or maybe it's not an employer-sponsored plan, but it's in an IRA. So if you have an existing IRA, you can simply transfer funds from your existing IRA into a self-directed IRA. As long as you're going from like account to like account, there's of course no taxes or penalties. It's a fairly straightforward process. Now, keep in mind that you do need to give that process some time. So it's not an overnight process to get money from one financial institution into the self-directed IRA. So really important if you're going to be making offers on real estate or executing on other alternative investments, that you start the process of opening and funding your account well in advance so you don't miss out on any transactions. So IRA to IRA, you would open a self-directed IRA, you would submit the necessary paperwork, a transfer request would go over to your current IRA firm, and then they would send the funds back via check, wire transfer, or direct deposit, depending on the financial institution. Now let's go back to an employer-sponsored plan like a 401k or a 403b or a 457 or a thrift savings plan. So if you have an employer-sponsored plan, and let's assume that you've left that employer, you would therefore be eligible to roll over your money. This is what's known as a rollover, not to be confused with a IRA transfer. So when you're going from IRA to IRA, that's called a trustee to trustee transfer, and it's a different process to move money. But when you have an employer plan, when you move the money over, that is called a rollover, and you're going to want to use the term direct rollover. So the process is as follows. You open up your self-directed IRA, and then you call your plan administrator. So let's say you have a 401k, you're going to call your plan administrator. They might have paperwork for you to fill out, or they might do everything for you over the phone. And you will at that point initiate a direct rollover. So they'll cut a check made payable to your equity trust IRA for the benefit of you. You get the check and mail it to Equity Trust. Now, some firms will mail that check directly to Equity Trust for deposit. Some firms will want to mail that to your address that's on file. And then when you get the check, it's made payable to your IRA and you mail that to Equity Trust. The check being made payable to your IRA is really critical because what you don't want to do is have those providers issue you a distribution, which would create a taxable event, and there would likely be withholding. And then you would have less funds to roll over into the IRA, which you would have to do within a 60-day window. So remember the difference between an IRA to IRA transfer and a rollover from a 401k or other employer-sponsored plan. Now, Equity Trust is a custodian. We have an entire onboarding experience for you. So when you open up a self-directed IRA, you're going to be assigned a single point of contact onboarding specialist, and they're actually going to help you with the rollover or transfer process. So if you'd like us to be on a call with you when you call over to your plan administrator to help initiate the direct rollover, we'd be happy to provide that service to you and help you along the way. Now, don't get confused on the rollover with a distribution 60-day rollover. So you'll hear of this concept of withdrawing money from an IRA or 401k, and then you have 60 days to return it to a qualified IRA or qualified retirement plan. You can do that if you take a distribution. As long as it's an IRA, not an inherited IRA, you have 60 days to return that to an IRA. Now, you can only do that once in a 12-month running period, so you got to be careful with that. And note that it is a reportable event. So at all costs, most investors are going to prefer to do an IRA to IRA direct transfer, or they do a direct rollover from an employer-sponsored plan. So those are two methods of funding a self-directed IRA, again, IRA transfer or rollover. Know that there, of course, are ways to contribute, call it out of pocket to an IRA. And there are also mechanisms by which you can convert funds from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. That's known as a Roth conversion, which is a taxable event. And we have other training, other explainer videos that will go more in depth on those methods. I hope you enjoyed this explainer video on funding a self-directed IRA. Remember, don't delay. If you know that you want to invest in an alternative asset like real estate, gold and silver, cryptocurrency, private equity, trust deeds, mortgage notes, It's really important that the timing is correct and that you start the account open process and funding process well in advance, because keep in mind, you're going to be at the mercy, and we're at the mercy of another financial institution to roll over the funds or transfer the funds from an existing source. Until the next video training, keep leveraging compounding interest in the absence of taxation.